Gentlemen, I just wanted to simply say there was an interview with Jordan Peterson and a actor. I'll be honest, I forgot the name of the gentleman. He literally said in his video he had his wife wanted to have him removed from the house somehow. She called up the police and said to the police, "My husband is acting erratically and he's not being normal. Can you come round?" And the police said, "Look, I'm sorry, we can't just come round because your husband is not acting normal. Unless he's threatening to hurt the children or himself, we can't really do anything." She puts the phone down, calls back 45 seconds later and says, "My husband's going crazy and he said he's going to hurt the children." 4 police officers were at his door arresting him. He was in handcuffs within hours.
Do you see how dangerous that situation is?
45 seconds later, she calls back the police and says this. For that lie, this man's life was destroyed for months on end. He had to go through endless amount of courts. Yes, he spent literally hundreds of thousands of pounds because he was quite a wealthy individual. He's done really well in the acting world. He literally spent hundreds of thousands of pounds just to prove that he wasn't going to harm his children, that he is safe around his own kids.
So Banksy, what do you think men need to do in these types of situations? What do men need to do to protect themselves from these types of situations?
The thing is, men, I believe men, we are problem solvers. We're confronted with life's problems all the time, and we simply find solutions around issues that are barriers that are affronted in front of us. Now, your friend was absolutely right. The gentleman was right. In this situation, or in most situations, you should be recording something. Johnny Depp right now would have been in the deepest of poo-poo. I don't want to swear, but he would have been in the deepest of poo if he hadn't recorded some of the footage, some of the stuff that Amber Heard had said to him. So in this modern age, because you have to deal with contemporary life and contemporary law and contemporary, courts and the police. You're not a caveman anymore. You can't club your wife over the head and drag her into the cave anymore. She's not going to listen to that. You're not in the Middle East. If you were in the Middle East, you'd have very different rights. The Middle East, the man is still the king. But in this gynocentric Western society, your video recorder, your phone, your tape recorder, whatever recordings, evidence that you have is your best friend. And that is what you have to do. You are not convicted for really what you have done or haven't done. You're convicted for what you can prove. That's what really happens in this day and age. Is whatever you can prove in court is what matters, not whether you actually did a thing or didn't do a thing. They say that you're not, your statement that you give to the police, for example, many people make the greatest mistakes of giving statements without their lawyers present. Never give a statement of never even talk to a police officer, even on a casual basis. This is something a lawyer in America was doing a lecture on. He says, don't talk to police officers on even a casual basis, because no police officer is off duty. And they are always recording and writing or memorizing the things you have said. And you could convict yourself by your own misspoken words.
Yeah.
Even if you never actually did anything. So
Banksy, would you say that then this system is actually emasculating men and masculating women and putting them in a dominant position in situations like this?
We live in a hypocritical society. We live in a society where, for the longest time, women, especially since the birth of feminism, have fought for supposedly quote unquote equal rights. But really, we've given women the rights to do all the things men used to do, as well as all the privileges women used to have. They've kept that. They never let go of the privileges.
I'd argue that we've given women the privilege to do what the most heinous men done, and also give them female rights. Because for me, feminism isn't about being equal. It's about now doing the stuff that some of the most evil, vindictive men done within society.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is, what's happened is there was a time when men had their positions. See, as men, we deal with each other in a different manner. We know that there's a line. Once you cross that line with another man, you're going to get blasted in the face, and then there'll be repercussions for you and potentially for the other person.
Exactly, so we know.
Exactly. But we
Yeah.
have those standards, and we have these unspoken rules amongst them. But with women know that it is socially unacceptable for for men to physically uh, encroach upon women in any way. I
Mhm.
mean, nowadays, grabbing the wrist is considered, some sort of grossly bodily harm, or
Yeah.
form of assault. So, in any way, a woman can literally beat you, and there's plethora of videos online. You can see women are literally beating and slapping and throwing milkshakes of a guy who's like 6'4", 6'5", weighs like 18 stone. The guy could
Yeah.
crush this woman with one hand. This is a 5'5" woman chucking milkshake on a man that is 4 times her size, and yet it's socially unacceptable. And if a man even lift a finger, even if he chucked the same milkshake back on the woman, it would be hell
Yeah.
to pay for that man. It's
I
unfortunately,
agree.
we live in this hypocritical society. We have to recognize that as men. We have to recognize we live in a double standard society. We live in a hypocritical society that is highly gynocentric now, and that we have to find coping mechanisms and navigate through this society. Now, for most of us, we've grown up. If you're, past your 40s and late 30s, you're probably dating women who are a bit more reasonable, a bit more understandable, of maybe the 40s plus categories. But if you're a young 20-something-year-old man growing up in this society, you've got a lot of things to navigate through. It is fraught with dangers. You could